Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to the News Bulletin at 8, brought to you by our number one news provider, Eswatini TV. I am Nondomiso Vilagata alongside Nomakabiso Nkambule, and here are your top stories. The Deputy Prime Minister today received 250 metric tons of rice worth 4.7 million malangeni donated by the government of Taiwan. The Minister of Foreign Affairs is advising members of the public who have lost contact with their relatives who traveled to KwaZulu-Natal in the Republic of South Africa to contact the ministry to register. The House of Senate has adopted the Portfolio Committee of the Ministry of Finance's report on the Eswatini Economic Recovery Development Policy Loan Bill. The news. The Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku has received 250 metric tons of rice worth 4.7 million malangeni donated by the government of Taiwan. The Deputy Prime Minister says the donation will complement the existing food assistance program. The donation ceremony was held at the National Disaster Management Agency's warehouse in Matapa.
On Wednesday, the Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku received 250 metric tons of rice worth 4.7 million malangeni, which was donated by the Republic of Taiwan. Speaking during the handover ceremony held at the National Disaster Management Agency's warehouse in Matapa, the Deputy Prime Minister said this donation will complement the country's existing food assistance programs and will feed not less than 10,000 Maswati in a period of 3 months.
The donation came at a right time when we have established a case for people that are chronically in need of food support. It will also, in part, support vulnerable families who lost their livelihoods and have become food insecure. In this list, I want to add the child-headed families who we are supposed to be supporting, and we are in a way supporting, and we will continue to put them in the list of direct beneficiaries of this donation because they are one of they're part of the most vulnerable in our society.
The Republic of Taiwan ambassador to Eswatini, Jeremy Liang, says improving the sustainability of food system does not happen overnight.
Taiwan can help Eswatini clear this hurdle. We are stronger together and will make even more headways in attaining the UN Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG 2, Zero Hunger. Taiwan and Eswatini are true friends and partners in prosperity.
The diplomatic relations between the two countries was established 50 years ago, where Taiwan made it a priority to collaborate with the Kingdom of Eswatini in food-related measures. The Republic of Taiwan also supported the Kingdom of Eswatini in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic and donated 1 million surgical masks last year. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samgil Suekoza with Vuminko Sinsinisa Matapa.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Thulisile Dladla, is advising members of the public who have lost contact with their relatives who traveled to KwaZulu-Natal and South Africa to contact the ministry to register.
Lilela nje bomakhelwane ngana litulu lelikhulu lelento umonakalo lomkhulu lapha kaZulu eNatal. Si Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation sithi ngosama kube madudu sisive futhi semaswati sithi labo labalahlekelwe uNkulunkulu tabadududa. Sesicela ke emaswati lebekanze anetihlobo lebetiye khona le kaZulu Natal ngoba siyathi ukuthi sehla senyuka vele siyasebenta kuthi mashuthi bathi bafuna tihlobo taba batitholi sicela masinyane bete bato register eMinistry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation lapha eMbabane. Uma shuthi bakhanza ukuthi kumbe sesivalele ngoba kusasa sivala nga12 bangashayela yona indvuna yelitiko stokhona ukuthi sibe nale list yalabantu lesaseke sesiyimikisa ehhovisini lakithi ePitoli labatasi bakhona ukuthi basebenzisane nabo labaphethe kaZulu Natal ukuthola ukuthi ngabe leti hlobo tethu tingene kulohlupheka yini noma kumbe tisazama kubuya ngasekhaya. Sisasisho lokho nje Maswati lahloniphekile sicela sibambisane sikhona ukuthi sathi ukuthi ihlobo tethu tiphephile noma cha.
The House of Senate has adopted the Portfolio Committee of the Ministry of Finance's report on the Eswatini Economic Recovery Development Policy Loan Bill 2. The report was delivered by Portfolio Committee's chairperson, Senator Tony Sibanze.
When the House of Senate resumed its parliamentary business on Wednesday, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee of the Ministry of Finance at the House of Senate, Senator Tony Sibanze, moved that the Senate adopts the committee's report on the Eswatini Economic Recovery Development Policy Loan Bill 2 of 2022. The chairperson was seconded by Senator Sylvia Mthethwa.
Nesikhathi lesinganga ngeminyaka lemithathu lapho khona mengameli singeke sibhadale lutho kusuka nje kubele kuthi cha nasenicala kuyisebenzisa iminyaka lemithathu stonivumela nje nicale nibone ukuthi iyasebenzeka bese niyaqala ke niyabhadala ke emva kwaloko bathi ke kule loan mangameli itoba le interest rate ito lingana ne overnight financing rate of 6 months plus a fixed spread of 0.65% per annum mangameli.
Members of the Senate House, including the Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku and the Minister of Public Service Mabulala Masego, then debated the report.
Ungeke uthuthuke ungenasikwelede. Ungeke ube nemigwaqo lesuka la yesikhuphe ibumengemenge kungenasikwelede.
Kuze kube ne-service delivery lekahle lapho khona sitawubona khona libe lithuka ikakhulu nje ku-infrastructure. Kuyadzinga lokho ukuthi vele kube khona emafutha lesitawafaka.
I'm hoping that these funds will assist in addressing the issues that seem to be creating a gap in society.
Aseluse le mali yelive sithi siyithaphutha nje ibuyeluseke isebenzele lefanele kusebenza.
Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee at the Ministry of Finance, Tony Sibanze, then responded to the debate.
Loan 1 ufike 3 months ago. Loan 2 so ufika namuhla. Kwendekelele ukuthi kungahlanganiswa kanye kanye. Kuveta nje imvungela ukuthi I think mhlambe kuhlanga okugcina benga yasende ama apologies lembulo. Bachaza uma nathi sabuda. Baveta ke losino. Kuba nalama stages vele noma kuthiwa nje economic recovery and support. Kunema processes ke lawa vedile ona minister ukuthi was he almost became emotional nachaza the pain that he goes through kude ifike lelo bill la parliament. Kunetinqabekelana laba finance labatibeka kohulumende ne leave ukhanzela ukuthi bathi ngeke sikwende lo ningakwendi lo. So at times ukhanzela ukuthi ayadelay ukufika not because bahleli nawo lo msebenzi.
The House of Senate then adopted the Portfolio Committee's report on the Eswatini Economic Recovery Development Policy Loan Bill 2 of 2022, whereas once the bill is passed into law, the World Bank will loan the Kingdom of Eswatini a second development loan of 1.2 billion emalangeni. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samkel Suekoza with Muslim Konta, Parliament.
The Director of Investor Roadmap Unit, Albert Chibi, says the Kingdom of Eswatini has started consultation workshops on the country's electronic business registry. The Director says Eswatini is supported by the government of the New Zealand on the project and has provided 30 million emalangeni for technical assistance.
To improve the ease of doing business in the Kingdom of Eswatini, the government of New Zealand donated 30 million emalangeni to Eswatini for the establishment of an electronic business registry. The two countries signed a memorandum of understanding last year to improve ease of doing business. The director of the Investor Roadmap Unit at the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Albert Tsibi, says the electronic business registry will replace the country's current online company registration program as it does not align with international best practices.
The project has commenced. A steering committee has been chosen consisting of senior officials from both countries. Today we had a successful workshop where we are presenting to stakeholders the draft bill, which is a companies bill that seeks to replace the current Companies Act. This is a fundamental piece of legislation that in it we are attempting to cut down on the number of steps and also the number of days it takes for a business person to register a company and also get a trading license. The government of New Zealand has provided experts and also some consultants that are assisting us, the Registrar of Companies, the Chief Commercial Officer responsible for trading licenses, and we as the Department of Investor Roadmap are coordinating the whole process.
On another note, as the World Bank scrapped off the Ease of Doing Business project last year, Tsibi says the World Bank is working on a business enabling environment project that will soon be introduced to member states to further improve ease of doing business. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkel Swekoza with Muslim Konta. Babane.
The Teaching Service Commission has announced the hiring of teachers for both primary and high school teachers and tertiary. This was announced by the chairperson of the Teachers Service Commission, Dr. Amos Mahlalela, during a press conference that was held at the Ministry of Education offices in Babane.
The Teaching Service Commission has announced the hiring of teachers for both primary and high schools as well as tertiary institutions. This follows vacancies and the need for teachers in schools. The chairperson of the Teachers Service Commission, Dr. Amos Mahlalela, says teachers' contracts have been renewed and some hired.
The authority that we have to hire include hiring head teachers at primary school, 8 of them. Head teachers in high schools, 2 of them. Temporary teachers for both the primary and the high schools, 1,310. And personnel at tertiary colleges and national curriculum, 69. Please take note that the hiring and renewal of contracts is solely for these categories recounted above. The employment of teachers on permanent basis and the employment of deputy head teachers and the heads of department is currently on hold. When the time for that comes, we will announce to the nation. Contracts that expired in 31st March 2022 will be renewed, and teachers will be renewed in the respective schools where they are, depending the school needs and depending the results of the right sizing exercise.
Dr. Mahlalela says no teacher should be made to pay any money or any gift of kindness in order to be hired, as that is illegal and should be reported. He says teacher contracts renewal is done by the Teacher Service Commission. The TSC will soon dispatch personnel to all the regions to conduct the renewal of contracts. He encourages learners and students to focus on their schoolwork and refrain from anything outside of that. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian Msibi, Babane.
On another note, the chairperson of the Teachers Service Commission, Dr. Amos Mahlalela, says expatriates' contracts will be renewed as well because some offer skills that Amaswati do not currently have. He was speaking during a press conference on the hiring of teachers.
Expatriates' teachers' contracts will only be renewed on areas which are scarce and Eswatini are scarce in that field to find, then we will renew contracts for expatriate teachers following this trend. Hiring and renewing of contracts will take a duration of 2 years. And if we happen to hire new phases, take note that the hiring will follow the year of completion in colleges and universities. For instance, all PTT holders are currently in 2019. We will follow that pattern.
The Ministry of Education is currently training teachers on understanding the Down syndrome condition, as well as autism, and understanding behaviors of learners with these conditions. The ministry aims to sensitize parents in the nation at large on these conditions.
The Ministry of Education, through its Special Needs Program, has seen the need to sensitize members of the public on the Down syndrome condition as well as autism. It has since been seen and discovered that parents do have children with these conditions but are unaware of them and behaviors of children, thus the need to educate and sensitize the nation on that. The Inspector of Special Needs in the Ministry of Education, Fikile Shongwa, says children with these conditions should be at school like any other child and should not be hidden. She says parents and the nation at large need to be educated on these conditions.
I-Down syndrome yona ibanga ukuthi kuba angathi singayichaza ngithini le extra chromosome leba khona kumuntu. Ngiko ke badikhanza banala extra than lalangale swejwayele ukuthi umuntu nje lo emhlabeni lengathi in quotes lo normal uba na so many chromosomes. Kubo ke kuba nalele extra lebese ibanga lokho ukuthi lo mntwana bese kucabanga kwakhe noma kusebenta kwakhe kwengqondo sebeyakhinyabedeka.
Some parents who have children with this condition say these children need love and to be understood about their behaviors. She says there are myths that are untrue about them being a curse.
Umanje nje una 5 weminyaka and ukhulile kodwa na njengoba asashido nje umhloli ukhula very slow akafanani nalabanye bamphana. Nabo banbana labafanana nebantwana labanye. I'm proud of my son.
These are loving and smart children even at school. They are only just behind their age in terms of behavior and physical growth. Quineth Gama, a teacher, says some teachers are currently being trained on these conditions to spread love to these children even in class.
Thina ke sibothishela labanye bethu basaqeqeshwa labanye sebavele baqeqeshiwe ngale timo leti sithi bantwana bonke abete bakhona bothishela lusito bantwana batalithola.
She pleads with school principals to admit these children without looking at their condition. The parents are in a process of creating a foundation of Down syndrome where they aim to educate everyone on the condition. These parents can be contacted at 7608 5434 and 7658 2660. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian MCB, Mbabane.
Dear viewers, and now take a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
It's Easter, and that means more guests at the door and more delicious food on the table. Get even more with incredible Easter specials like Spa Extra Shelf Life Milk for only $28.99 and Bobtail Dog Food for just $148.99. And there's more. We'll give you a free Easter puppet when you spend 400 emalangeni or more while stock lasts. It's an Easter of more at your favorite spa store.
Why should we pay our TV license? The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for you. But we'll be right back just after the break, and we'll give you more of Miss V.
I pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformation.
Mommy, who pays for a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and a gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Pay your TV license at NetBank with the details provided on screen. Or use your cell phone via the mobile money pay. You could also visit your nearest post office and pay there. Pay your TV license via Eswatini Mobile Imali. Any TV device retailer can purchase a license to trade. Pay your TV license and enhance the industry.
Dear viewers, and now take a look at our financial updates.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. You're still watching Eswatini TV, and for your sports news tonight, MTN Premier League defending champions Royal Leopard has bounced back on top of the Premier League log after defeating Moneni Pirates by 3-0 in a game played at Galanga Technical Centre in Stegi. Leopard is now at 48 points in 20 games played, leading Babane Highlanders with 2 points, who are second with 46 points.
Royal Leopard lined up against Moneni Pirates in a Premier League game in hand played at Galanga Technical Centre in Stegi, looking to bounce back to the top of the MTN Premier League. The defending champions did not disappoint when Lungeru Tsabetse opened the score within the first 10 minutes of the game. Tsabetse went on to double the lead within the first 20 minutes of the game. In form, Junior Magagula threw a free kick, made it 3 for his side as the first half ended on that note, with Leopard leading 3-0. In the second half, both sides tried their luck, mostly Pirates looking to get their first goal, but the game ended on that note, with Leopard getting 3 points that brought them at the top of the MTN Premier League log with 48 points in 20 games, 2 points ahead of Babane Highlanders, who are 46 points. Leopards' next game will be against Babane Swallows at King Sobhuza Memorial II in Hlangan on Saturday, while on the same day at Galanga Technical Centre Stadium, Babane Highlanders will face Young Buffaloes. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Stegi.
Eswatini Starkey Motors Director Rainer Starkey says it is their company's objective to try and give back to the community by focusing on projects that will see development of young people getting more active and excelling in different local sporting activities. Starkey highlighted this when handing over a sponsorship check of 15,000 emalangeni to Eswatini Tennis at Summerfield Garden Hotel.
In a way of trying to improve and grow sports in the country, Eswatini Starkey Motors have sponsored Eswatini Tennis Association with an amount of 15,000 emalangeni. Rainer Starker, who is the Starkey Motors director, says this is one way the company gives back to the community by contributing immensely in the development of local sporting activities.
But tennis is also a sport that you can do from a very young age to quite an old age. Many sports are limited to age. If you play bowls, you're frowned upon if you play that before you're 40, and if you want to be a good runner, you're frowned upon if you think you can win a race if you're over 40. So it's one of those sports that's got a long life, and it's got also prestige to it, and I think that also fits well into our brand.
Eswatini Tennis Association President Derek Jerry says the sponsorship will mostly give attention to junior programs of about 200 kids in the country.
The promise to the sponsor will go towards junior development. We are hoping to host a tournament in May, before the end of May, for all the age groups of the juniors. We look forward to receiving almost 200 juniors who are going to participate in our tournament. I think that's definitely money well spent on our sponsors if it can reach so many children.
The Tennis Association is indeed giving much attention to development programs through different sponsorships like Swaziland Building Society, Staka Motors and many more. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Sumsonera, Mbabane.
That is all we had for tonight, but before we wrap up, we'll take a recap of today's headlines. The Deputy Prime Minister today received 250 metric tons of rice worth 4.7 million malangeni donated by the government of Taiwan. The Minister of Foreign Affairs is advising members of the public who have lost contact with their relatives who traveled to KwaZulu-Natal in the Republic of South Africa to contact the ministry to register. The House of Senate has adopted the Portfolio Committee of the Ministry of Finance's report on the Eswatini Economic Recovery Development Policy Loan Bill. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin tonight. Up next is the weather forecast for selected towns. Good night, Eswatini.